Good evening, everyone. How are we all doing? We're back with another stream, seeing the consistent content's flowing. Today, we're here to discuss the big one, of course. Finally, Premier League football is back tomorrow, and Leicester are making the short trip to Nottingham to the City ground for Forest away in the Premier League. As always, we're here with the match preview one day before the game. Obviously, we're going to talk about the game in general, predicted lineups, team news, all that type of stuff, how the game could potentially go. And towards the end of the stream tonight, we'll wrap up some transfer news as well. So all that good stuff. And yeah, lots of things to come tonight, and obviously the big game tomorrow as well. If you're watching this video on playback, make sure to drop a like. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you're watching this live, make sure to get involved in the chat as always. Go and drop a cheeky like right now. And yeah, we'll wait for some of you guys to get involved in the chat. And yeah, we'll discuss Forest away tomorrow. It's a massive game. We need the win. Yet alone, it's a rivalry. We need to get the result as well, because if we're not careful, we're going to be slipping down that Premier League table as well. So yeah, massive game tomorrow. I do remember you, Levi, and I do remember you from the live watch long days. I do remember you indeed. Good to see you back on the channel, mate. Hope you're doing it well. Yeah, Forest away tomorrow then. Let's kick things off then with a bit of stats. Obviously, Leicester sit 13th right now in the Premier League. Our last result was that 1-0 loss to Fulham in the Premier League. Forest are currently 15th. Both teams are on 17 points. So, you know, as we know, it's very close. Last night for Forest in the league, they picked up a 1-0 win at Southampton. Obviously, between them two games, both sides have played two games. Leicester progressed in the FA Cup. Forest got knocked out of the FA Cup. Forest progressed in the Carabao Cup. And Leicester got knocked out of the Carabao Cup. So, yeah. Few results. Obviously, I think Forest lost to Blackpool, wasn't it? Obviously, Leicester beat Gillingham, lost to Newcastle, and Forest beat Wolves on Wednesday night to get into the semis. So they'll be full of confidence going into the game. They do have a pretty good record at home. I think it's 8 unbeaten at the City ground. So it's going to be a difficult game tomorrow. But yeah, both teams, just like I said, on 17 points. And that's crucial for me because, you know, it's a massive game. It is a massive game. If Leicester win, our position doesn't change, but it's far more secure. That would probably make it around 5 or 4 or so points between us and the drop zone, which will be crucial. So if we can get 3 points tomorrow, it would be massive. But just like we know, it's going to be a difficult game. It's going to be difficult, really difficult. Hello, Brennan, mate. I hope you're doing all right. Happy birthday for them. I think it's just a matter of time, Maddison being injured, which is why we are losing. Yeah, we'll talk about team news later, but obviously, as everyone knows, no Maddison still. He's been injured for about 2 months now, it looks like. Obviously, he was kind of injured when he was at England as well. So, yeah, who knows what's going on with him. Hopefully, he can be back as soon as possible. But by the sounds of it, it's a day-to-day kind of thing, and it doesn't look like he'll be back anytime soon. There's no real time scale on it. So, hopefully, he can come back. Or obviously, he'll come back eventually, I hope. But it's not. I don't think he'll be back for Brighton either, to be fair, by the sounds of it, because nothing seems to be happening. So, yeah, we'll have to see how that one develops. Forest not good. Neither are we, though. To be fair, I think Forest have been alright the last few games. They've turned it around. They've been good. They've been good at home. It's a difficult place to go. Leicester never do well at Forest away either, as we know from last year. So, yeah, hopefully the players. The main motivation is obviously the 3 points, but an even bigger motivation should be to turn around and, you know, I can't think of the word, but to make the wrongs right from last year in the FA Cup and get some sort of revenge. Because if we go there and perform anything like we did in the FA Cup last year, not acceptable. Not acceptable. But yeah, as always, we'll be live straight after the game, probably about 5:30 for the instant match reaction, which may be a tasty one tomorrow. So make sure to join to tune in for that if you are available. It may be the biggest run of the channel's history, but we'll have to see. Black will destroy Forest of hat-trick. I hope so, but to be fair, I can't see that happening. I really can't see that happening. But yeah, a bit more stats and things then. So yeah, Leicester's first league game at Forest away since 2014, which, you know, is their issue. But yeah, first league game in 9 years, which is crazy, away at the City ground. Obviously, we did play last year, like I said, in the FA Cup. Leicester are looking to complete the league double over Forest for the first time in a while. Leicester, though, have never scored a Premier League goal away at Forest in the Premier League, which is a bit crazy, to be fair. And the Foxes haven't started the year with back-to-back defeats since 2007. So hopefully we can turn that right tomorrow, or at least pick up a point. To be fair, obviously we need the win, but I wouldn't be too disappointed if Leicester go there and battle out a 1-1 or a 2-2 because just like I've been saying, it's a difficult place to go. And Leicester, as we know right now, have no confidence. We're not playing well at all. So if we can go there and grind out a result, I won't be too disappointed. That can need some more game time. You know what? Let's get into the predicted lineup right now. I want you guys to try and interact as much as possible with this. I'm going to share the screen. So we're going to try and build a lineup together. Hopefully you can see it. So right now, I've gone with the 4-3-3 formation, or with this one's 4-2-3-1, but it's a similar sort of system. So we'll go through the players a bit later on. We'll wait for some more people to come in. But yeah, team selection wise, I think there's not too many options because as we know from team news, Dewsbury's still out, Samare's out, Maddison is out, and that leaves a bit of a gap in our midfielder area. So one thing I want to see tomorrow is Papi Mendy start. So I think someone mentioned it in the stream last night. I really think Mendy should be involved tomorrow and start. I really do because yes, and Diddy has been reliable for us in the past, but this year he hasn't. And I think tomorrow we need a bit of control on the ball at times, and Mendy provides that a bit more than Diddy, in my opinion. And obviously they're the only two options we have. Maybe Diddy goes at centre back if you play a back three, but I can't really see that being the case. But I would like to see Tilt from tomorrow, but I can't really see it happening. I really can't see Brennan suctioning up like this in a big game. If he does it, fair play to him, but I can't see it happening. Hopefully he does, but I think tomorrow, the way we're going to win the game, Leicester have got to be on it from the first minute. We've got to be compact. Don't let Forest score in the first 10 minutes or so. Soak up the pressure and then look to build into the game. And at times we will have to counter-attack. And that's why I think Daka or Vardy, one of them should at least be starting tomorrow, just provide that threat on the counter-attack. But I think the game's going to be won and lost in that midfield area because Forest, they got the likes of Morgan Gibbs-White, they got Lingard, if he's fit. I don't know, he'll probably score against us because he's typical Leicester, in it, former Leicester player. Who obviously as we know, they've got loads of players. They signed the whole busload in the summer. So yeah, they've got options. They have got options. Joe says Nacho's got to start. I do agree. I think, although to be fair, personally, I'm not Nacho's biggest fan, but I would still play him because Vardy, in my opinion, is finished. Hurts me to say it, and Daka hasn't scored in a long time. And I think if you're going to play Iheanacho, it's going to be with another player because I just can't see Brennan starting Iheanacho as a lone striker. But tomorrow, I want to see Iheanacho because, just like I said, Leicester may be under the cosh tomorrow, and we need a link pass to come out. But you can't just keep booting it long because Iheanacho can hold up the ball quite nicely, but he isn't going to be winning headers against the likes of Bolly and Robo, whoever's playing at centre back for them. So, you know what I mean? We need that link player, and that's why I think we need players like Mendy in there who can link the play a bit better. Because a team which played against Newcastle, if that played against Forest, we would not win. I'm telling you right now, we would not win at all because there's just no control in the team. We need a bit of control. We need to cut the passing lanes and work ourselves into the game and assert our authority on it. Because if you look at the games we've won away so far this year, particularly Everton away, we dominated the whole game. We took control of the ball, went there, played our game and won. Simple. Create loads of chances. West Ham, not so much, but we were deadly going forward. And Wolves was kind of similar to West Ham. We just obviously scored two more goals with the 4-0 win. So we are capable of winning away. But right now, since the World Cup has ended, I'm not confident we do. I'm really not confident, boys. Hello, mate. Welcome to the stream. Newcastle looking for Maddison and Tielemans. I think that is true, but it would be, if they wanted him, they need to put an offer in first. Nacho needs to start games, and when he does, he scores. That is true. It is true. He has a very good scoring record, particularly in the cup competitions. If Newcastle want Maddison and Euro, they need to drain their money for 300 mil. Jesus, imagine that. Imagine getting 300 mil for them to. But yeah, Aston Villa beat Leeds 1-0 right now in the Friday night game. But there's a few more of you guys in this. So we're going to go through the lineup right now. But as I said a minute ago, we have gone with this formation here. I haven't put any thought into it. But do we go with something a bit different? Obviously, on here, the formations are quite weird. But do we go with something a bit like this? Ignore the weird midfielder structure. But do we go with a back three or a back five? I don't think there's a back five option on here, is there? But you guys get the point. Or do we go something like that with Iheanacho playing around here, just coming off the striker? And obviously, you'll have the wing backs pushing back in here, such as Thomas and Castagna. And then you've probably got Mendy here with Tielemans around here. and then maybe Perez linking it with Iheanacho here. That sort of thing. You put Ndidi at centre back. That's something I would be interested in, but can't really see it, and it is a bit narrow around this area here, isn't it? So I don't know. Obviously, you've got Barnes, but personally, I think Barnes has been shocking the last few weeks. Against Newcastle, really annoyed me. So I don't know, but we don't have much. We really don't have any options. If Madison was playing, if Dewsbury was playing, it'd be a different story. And hopefully, if we can sign the winger Nico Gonzalez, which we'll discuss a bit later on, if you want to watch the full video on that, watch the stream from last night. But hopefully, we can sort that out. But right now we just don't really have too much options. You know what I mean? Midfielder area, we're really stretched, and even defensively we're quite stretched as well. So I reckon Brendan should just play a 4-3-3. That probably will be the case. He could play Iheanacho off the right, but it's just not his natural position, and I don't really think that would work as well. But the key thing I want to see tomorrow is a bit of effort as well from the players. I want to see a bit of tracking back, unlike Newcastle, especially players like Barnes and Perez, if they start, because you need to track the runners. You really do. And if Forest get on the front foot, trust me, it's not going to be a good game. I'm really happy with transfers. Yeah, it's good to see. It's good to see that Leicester are actually finally making a movement in the transfer window. We'll discuss that in the last 5 or 10 minutes of the stream tonight. But yeah, it does look like Leicester making serious progress on Nico Gonzalez, and actually a bit of progress on Victor Christensen as well, the Copenhagen fullback as well. It looks like Leicester are closing in on him, but obviously the more reliable source from Fabrizio is on Nico Gonzalez. Apparently, there has been a bit of work today. Leicester getting closer to agreeing a fee with Fiorentina. And just like I said last night, the key thing is he's agreed personal terms with Leicester, which means one thing. He wants to join Leicester. He's excited by the project somehow. So hopefully it could happen. I guess so, yeah. I guess so. It's been like 7 years in the waiting. But yeah, Nico Gonzalez is a right winger. So yeah, you could say so. But I don't know if it's a Mara's replacement. It's just a winger because we need one. We don't have any, do we? So, yeah, thank God. Hopefully, we can sort that one out. People are saying give Brennan time. I don't think how much time we can give him. Yeah, I do understand that people who say that because obviously I'll say this: Brendan is a good manager because we all saw how well he did in his first few years at Leicester. Some people argue that he hasn't been given the resources the last few windows to sign his players, and that's why we're in this situation. But when he was given the resources to sign his players, if you look at the 2021 summer transfer window where we signed Samara, Daka, Vestergaard, Bertrand, how many of them are actually worked out? Maybe Samara and Daka at a push, but none of those players who signed that window came in and set the world alight, have they? So I think that's why Top has been a bit tentative with allowing Brendan funds to spend, because he's shown in the past that he has panicked and brought some very, random players in who are not capable of starting for us. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. But yeah, I don't think Brendan will have much longer. If he survives into next year, I will be surprised. Or maybe moves on in the summer, because I think even him, he probably wants a refresh as well with his career. Being a manager of a club now in the modern day, it's approaching almost 4 years now, isn't it? 4 or 5 years. So I think, Leicester's just in a bit of a position where there's quite a few people, management, players, everything which kind of just needs to move on and have a different challenge, and hopefully we can pick up the pieces and stay in a good position. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting few years ahead for the club. I think Chelsea want to sort of deal with Rodgers and Potter. I wouldn't be against that. I really wouldn't be against that. But yeah, we're just going to quickly do this quick lineup thing now. So in goal is obviously going to be Danny Ward, which I think is pretty obvious. I'm going to go with this back three kind of formation. Ignore where I put each player. It's just going to be a bit of random kind of thing. So Alvin Diddy is a centre back. We'll go with Root in the middle. If I can spell his name, that would help. Got Big Dan here, making up that back three. We'll have Luke Thomas here because there's no one else to play, is there? We'll have Tim out on the right wing back slot, which is not ideal, but I want to see us play two up top, and I think this is the only way we do it. I really do. So we'll have Mendy here, then we'll have Yuri. If you just joined us, ignore the actual positions and stuff. It's just a little random thing we're doing. But yeah, that'll be my midfield three. It's pretty bad in it, but yeah, let's be honest. And then here we'll probably have Daka or Vardy. We'll go Daka because I think that's a bit more realistic. And then here we'll have Kelechi. So that will be the team I would kind of want to see start tomorrow. If you guys can actually see that. So obviously we've got Danny Ward in goal, Castagna in that right and back position, who can hopefully bomb on but needs to track back. We've got Diddy, Faz, and Danny Lamarte as the centre backs. Luke Thomas likewise. We've got Mendy sitting here controlling the play, connecting the passes a bit better. You've got Yuri in a bit more of an advanced role with Perez, who can drift that wide a bit. Kelechi comes short, and then obviously you've got Daka, who can get in behind a bit more. So that is the team I'd like to be kind of play. I'll play Pratt instead of Perez. Yeah, if Pratt's fit, I don't know if he is, I would, but yeah, I don't know. I think if you put Dennis Pratt and just be to be fair, Pratt here, if he's available, yeah, 100% agree because it just tightens things up a bit more and he's a bit more of a natural midfielder, if you get what I mean. Obviously, Perez is used to be a striker, didn't he? So or can play him behind. But yeah, I think this is the way to go really tomorrow. This sort of formation here. We don't really have much option, do we? So yeah, Pratt is injured. He was, but apparently he's back in training, so he may be on the bench tomorrow. But I'll be surprised if he got put straight back into the into the starting lineup. So Nani Maduke's joining Chelsea. Did hear about that earlier, which is a bit of a frustration. But going to Chelsea right now seems to be a bit of an interesting one to say the least, because they're in a bit of a Chelsea are mad in it this year. The league's gone mad. It's like 2015-16 all over again. But sadly, Leicester are nowhere near the top. Yeah. Just before we move on to transfers, then I want to get your guys' score predictions. I know there's not too many of you guys in it tonight, but it will do. So in the chat, let us know your score predictions for the game tomorrow. Forest away at the City ground. Personally, I think 1-1. I really do. I don't think we'll lose. I reckon we will be all right tomorrow. But yeah, I think 1-1. It won't be ideal, but it won't be an awful result. As long as we don't lose, I'll be happy, to be fair, because we just need some kind of points and confidence, really. So yeah, tomorrow I'm going to go 1-1. I reckon Forest will. I reckon we'll score first. Actually, I think we'll make a better start this game. I think if Ian actually starts, I reckon Ian actually will score, then Forest will grab a goal. Second half, 65th minute, around that time for Gibbs White or something. So that's how I see it going tomorrow. I try and stay positive, but I just can't, boy. I really can't for this game. Cannot be positive. Don't know why. But yeah, that's my realistic prediction. In my heart, I say 3-1 Leicester. Why not? 2-1 Leicester, shaky defence, but get the job done, hopefully so. We'll be very nervous if it's like 2-1 in the last few minutes, won't it? So 2-0, fair enough. You never know. I wouldn't put it past the boys because away from home this year, we haven't actually been that bad. Obviously, you can knock Tottenham and Brighton away, but apart from that, and maybe Bournemouth, keep saying apart from that, but obviously, sadly I'm not going to the game tomorrow, so I don't provide the look. But yeah, the games I went to away this year in the row, like Wolves, Everton, and West Ham, we won like flipping, what was it, like 8-0 on aggregate across 10 games. So if we can get anything like that tomorrow, a nice 2-0 win, that would do very nicely. But confident, Joe's on the same page as me. I'll get you completely, mate. I think it'll be a tough game. Obviously, derby games are, form kind of goes out the window a little bit, which will help us because I think Forest are on better form than Leicester right now. But yeah, we need clean sheets. To be fair, I'm not even bothered about clean sheets. We just need a win. And the key thing is, though, to be fair, to win, we actually need a clean sheet because I think every time Leicester have conceded this year, we've not won a game, or I don't think we even drew one. I think so. You know what I mean? As soon as Leicester concede a goal, we just fall apart. So the only way we win games is keeping clean sheets. So yeah, tomorrow we need a clean sheet. But just imagine if Leicester could replicate that performance from October, 4-0 win away. That would be beautiful stuff. But can't see it happening. However, though, going into that game against Forest back in October, we were in a similar situation. We were on dreadful form. We didn't even have a single win. So you never know. But hopefully we can turn up and do some stuff. But obviously back then we had Madison, Dewsbury, Samare all starting. So and Justin, etc. So yeah, the team is obviously in a bad state, but I reckon we'll do something tomorrow. Hopefully so anyway. But Yeah, just quickly then, just before we wrap it up tonight, a bit of transfer news coming in. Obviously, last night's stream was dedicated and focused to Nico Gonzalez, the Argentinian winger from Fiorentina, who Leicester looked to be very close to potentially signing. He has agreed personal terms with Leicester, and with Leicester currently in the process of agreeing a fee with Fiorentina around 30, 25 million, something around that price range to bring him in. So that's the latest on him. Victor Christensen is the Copenhagen fullback, Danish international. He's quite young as well. Leicester look to be heavily interested in him. A bit lower. Initially, Leicester, I think, put a bid of, or were reportedly, it was reported around 5 million or something. Copenhagen wanted a bit more, so looks like Leicester trying to work on that deal as well. So that's the latest on transfers. Haven't really heard much today from any reliable sources from Nico Gonzalez, but looks like Leicester are working behind the scenes to try and get that deal sorted and over the line. But it's definitely obvious that Gonzalez is interested in Leicester, just like I said earlier on. So take a point. That's fair enough. Yeah, I want 3 points if we can beat Forest. Yeah, well, you would hope so, wouldn't you? But I don't know. I really don't. But yeah, I think we've discussed pretty much everything really. Obviously, we talked about team news. Forest. We'll quick look at their lineup from their last game. They lined up with a 4-3, kind of 4-3-3 ish. They got it's a weird formation actually. They got Henderson in goal, Renan Lodi, Willy Bolly, Joe Royal, Aurier as the back four, Yates, Freuler, Mangala in the midfield three. They Gibbs White and a cam behind Brennan Johnson and Taiwo and Awani, whatever his name is, up front. So yeah, if Forest do line up like that, there's not too much with. Obviously, Brennan Johnson goes out wide a bit, but yeah, it could be an interesting one tomorrow. 45 plus 7 minutes at a time in the Villa game. Jesus. But yeah, I think tomorrow it's just going to be tough. The Forest want their revenge, but so do we. So do we from that game last year in the FA Cup. Both teams will be looking for revenge. So yeah, massive game tomorrow. But yeah, as always, I'll be live after the game around 5:30 tomorrow. Obviously after the game, discussing hopefully a beautiful Leicester win. So make sure to join me for that. If you are not going to the game, if you're available, it could be an interesting video. But hopefully, just like I said, we can be discussing a win. If there is any developments on the transfer situation, I'll try and upload a few videos, as many videos as possible, I should say. But yeah, lots of content on the way. And hopefully I'll see you all boys tomorrow night. But yeah, let's get into the final comments tonight. We'll wrap it up in around 2 or so minutes. So I'm going to chill out and watch the rest of the Villa game. My legs are killing. It's been a long day. Leicester under 21s lost Arsenal. Conceded late on. Classic Leicester then runs through the whole club. I think the under 18s are playing Sheffield Wednesday right now, aren't they, as well? I think they're winning 2-0 the last time I looked. So hopefully they can secure the win in that one in the FA Youth Cup. But yeah, I think that was about it, boys. If you've got any final questions, feel free to let me know. Just before you do head off tonight, make sure to quickly go and drop a like. You'd massively help the channel out, grow the channel, get more Leicester fans in here. As always, subscribe if you haven't already. If you watch this video back on playback, let us know your thoughts in the comments. And yeah, a big thanks to you guys for coming in, Joe, Rene, Levan, etc. Everyone who is in here tonight is highly appreciated. And yeah, I'll see you boys tomorrow night, 5:30 for the Forest versus Leicester instant match reaction. I'll see you then. And do it, boys. Cheers for coming in. And most importantly, up there, Leicester.